Dona Heights native Colonel Bree Fram, an astronautical engineer, is an officer in the United States Space Force. She joined the U.S. Air Force right after 9/11, serving 18 years before joining the Space Force. She is the chief of the Acquisitions Policies and Processes Division.
All too often, I hear leaders talk about providing everyone with dignity and respect like it's an aspirational goal. That's not good enough. Dignity and respect is the bare minimum. It's the floor of where we can be. We must set our sights higher and focus on intentional inclusivity, because there are still far too many people out there, not just LGBTQ individuals, that feel marginalized, shut out, or discriminated against. So for all of you out there, I ask you to set out your symbols of pride, share your pronouns in your email, particularly if you're a person who doesn't think they need to. Initiate difficult conversations about racial and gender barriers, and share a bit of your vulnerability in a way that draws others in. You all have the power to take intentionally inclusive actions to ensure the multiple perspectives that we know make us stronger as we devise winning warfighting strategies get heard.
Have you gotten any emails from any of your colleagues in the last, before you came out here, obviously not while you've been at the podium, but since about noon or so?
Why don't you get to your question? And then
Have you?
What's your question?
Are you able to look at them right now?
My email?
Yeah.
I'm not going to pull up my email from the podium.
No, you don't need to show it to me.
Yeah.
I want to know if you've noticed anything different in the from line where it gives the sender.
Matt, this would be a lot better if you would just ask us what your question was.
Well, I mean, so you haven't noticed anything?
No.
Okay, so within the last hour and a half, 2 hours, the State Department's internal email system, and I've tested this, so I know that it's true, has added pronouns to people's, not their signature, but to their, where it says from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it will say him, he, his, or her,
yeah.
Or she, hers. Why? This is not an optional thing. This is something that has been just arbitrarily imposed. And, understand that people could have their pronouns attached, if they wanted them, to a signature before. But this is not something that anyone has a choice about. And so I'm just wondering why and who made this decision.
Well, Matt, I have not seen this phenomenon for myself.
Okay, well, I have, and I'll show it to you.
And is it just, to ask you a question, is it just for internal State Department
obviously
people
not, because I tested it.
So
I got
if
an
you
email
send
from
an
someone
email,
in this building, and whereas before it did not have any of these pronouns attached to the sender's name, it now does. And I've also been told from other people that many of them, or at least
when you send it, does it have the?
I'll show it to you in a second.
Well, what I will just say,
if you don't know anything about this, then that's fine. Yeah. Can you look into it? Because
I'm happy to look into it.
Why this would not be an optional thing for people to do. But the problem is that a lot of them, or at least some of them, so far as I've been able to tell, are wrong. They're giving the wrong pronoun. So men are being identified as women and women as men, and this has nothing to do with whatever transgender or anything like that. But it's ridiculous.
This phenomenon has not made its way to my Outlook, but I'm happy to check on this for you.
I just told you about it. So can you
broadly though,
Matt?
Of course, the ability for
I don't
individuals
have a problem with doing it, and if people want to have their whatever pronoun attached to it is fine, but it should be a choice, right? Not something that is the State Department imposes on people, especially if it's wrong.
I will look into this. I'm not aware. Thanks, everybody.
So inclusion is a national security imperative.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We fight today, and we are going to fight in the future using brain power. And if that brain, who's going to revolutionize the way we fight in space, we fight in cyber, just happens to be in a trans body, you should want them all serving alongside me. And for your organizations, It's the same way. Those perspectives that we get from a diverse set of individuals, it's been talked about on stage a lot regarding the science behind high-performing teams. We need those perspectives. But it's inclusion that actually drives that. Because you can bring people in, and if they don't feel safe to speak up, if they don't feel safe to bring their full selves to work, you're not going to get the value of the diversity. So for us, it is absolutely critical to drive our future success as an organization and potentially on the battlefield. And I think it's the same way for all of you, because we can't leave that talent that is going to revolutionize the way we do business behind.
Hard pass.
I have people staring at me and basically asking, are you real?